All right, this is great. This is going to show you right where like the conversations can't happen for some people. Like I can have any conversation about anything, right? Like I can talk about what was God doing before he created the earth. Like none of that most people can't talk about that because it shows inconsistencies in like this God. So you're going to say that he had a purpose in creating the world, yet he was sitting around for hours on end before he did it. Like that just it doesn't ring true. So people just don't think about it. So like this guy, well, he says he wants to talk science, but let's go. So that can you get facts without the scientific method, right? Then I gotta ask you, what do you mean? So I ask it again, right? What beliefs? Can you get facts without the scientific method? Yeah. Well, then you don't need the scientific method, right? If I can get facts without the scientific method, what good is the scientific method? Measuring things is a way to obtain facts, but okay. You need to measure to use the scientific method. I thought you needed a hypothesis to use the scientific method. When do you take a measurement? He's going to talk later about how water boils. When did he measure any of that? He just watched the water boil. So before you engage in any cause and effect testing, you need measurements. Huh? I thought it started with an observation, not with measurements. Okay, so the method tests cause and effect relationship, but you're taking measurements. What does taking the measurement have to do with a ruler isn't science? Like, okay, so the only way to test cause and effect relationship is with a hypothesis. But then in the end, look, you just draw a conclusion. See what I circled? Drawing conclusions. All right. Okay, so you're saying the only way to test cause, he didn't say that either. Okay, well, if the only way to test this scientific method sounds absolutely useless right now. Because he said you need it to test cause and effect relationships, but then he also says it's not the only way to get cause and effects relationship. But it provides so it's basically useless, right? I'm getting more confused. It seems like he's getting confused. So you don't need the scientific method to get facts. You don't need the scientific method to determine cause and effect relationships. So why do we use this thing? And why is drawing a conclusion, which is subjective to the beliefs of the person doing the procedure, at the end there? Oh, maybe because it's a religion around controlling how people think, right? Yeah, he has no idea what this is reference to. You're saying that you need measurements to do science. Is drawing a conclusion subjective to the person? No, that's idiotic. You know why. Which is idiotic? Subjective to the person? Reality is objective. Sorry, because he just doesn't answer what I say. It's like he's monologuing, right? Imagine having a conversation with somebody like, what's your favorite color? And they're like, 7. And you're like, why are you talking about numbers? And they're like, go back to colors. And you're just like, whatever, bro. So reality is objective. Yeah, we know. You know, it's not objective. Drawing conclusions. And then look, so for example, if I prove that the heat applied to water causes it to boil using the scientific method, every day when I make tea or coffee, I prove that heat boils water. I don't need the scientific method to do that. And then he talks about burning his hand. How that's not subjective. Do you see the wordplay? That was amazing wordplay. So I said how the scientific method in drawing conclusions is subjective. And he said, no, drawing conclusions are not subjective because when I burn my hand, that's objective. Burning your hand is not drawing a conclusion, though. And this is how people, because this is one of those morons that's in this debate every fucking day. So this is him practiced. He is highly trained at doing this, and it's horrible. He just swapped subjective conclusions for burning his hands, which is not and then saying, well, yeah, see, I burned my hand on fire, therefore drawing conclusions is not subjective. What the fuck? And then he just leaves. But it was a good talk. Like, it wasn't even a talk, right? Like, it wasn't even a talk. Like, what did he really say? You could go back. He just said, you need measurements to draw conclusions, which is the scientific method, but you don't need the scientific method to get cause and effect. It was just a whole bunch of bullshit. So if you see this moron in that server, just laugh at him. Amish Secrets, tell him he got owned by Right the Hand. R.T.H for another win.